Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Today our topic for discussion is denture repair. In fact, this is continuation of our previous lecture in which we discussed the servicing of the denture after insertion. A patient has used a denture for a short time or long time can have a fracture of the denture. This is actually a nuisance and may create an emergency for the dentist because the patient wants this repair of the denture immediately. Patients coming with denture fracture may have certain problems and they of aesthetics, and they cannot live without this denture. So this repair can be done in the clinic also, but preferably this should be done in the lab. Procedure for this is simple, and patient, even so many patients, they do it at home. They purchase a kit of repairing and they do it at their self in the home, which we don't recommend. Patient cannot himself do this. When a patient comes with the fracture of the denture, we can simply send it to the lab, but we should know the cause of this fracture denture. The causes of impact may be due to impact. There may be fabrication errors, inappropriate design, excessive loading, and main is that long-term use. Due to long-term use, there is residual ridge resorption. There becomes wear of teeth. In single complete denture, we saw that the lower anterior have hammered-like effect on the upper maxillary denture, and from the relief area there is usually midline fracture, especially when natural teeth are opposing. They are giving extra force. To start with this fracture, there is usually an impact denture has fallen down and there becomes a hairline fracture of one side. Patient is not aware of this and he is using that. After some time, the broken pieces are separated by masticatory forces, are again falling off the denture. When the patient comes to the dentist, he blames that there is some manufacturing or fabrication defect, but fracture has occurred before that. In this we will discuss why you need repair, different types of fracture, causes of denture repair, what does term repair refer, repair management of different fractures, what is chair-side repair. We need repair of denture prosthesis when either of the following conditions are. There may be fracture of one tooth, that may be anterior or posterior, there may be fracture of denture flanges, and there may be fracture of the retention components or denture base, which is usually midline. Issues regarding artificial teeth in a denture. In artificial teeth, the denture, we see that when there is combination syndrome, the lower anteriors are putting maximum pressure on the upper artificial teeth in the maxillary arch. They, due to extra pressure, even the anterior teeth of artificial maxillary denture can fracture. Even the long-term use creates tooth wear. In tooth wear, the occlusal surfaces of the teeth wear so much that they cause fracture. Issues regarding denture base. Denture base, usually these are becoming loose due to residual ridge resorption. There becomes a gap. So these causes we should see that what a denture can be repaired by a technician easily, but we as a dentist have to see that what is the underlying cause of this fracture. If we, without removing the cause, if we repair the denture and cause remains, for example, if there is occlusal error and we repair it, and that occlusal error will remain there and there will be again fracture. The same way, if the resorbed ridges is the cause, then we repair, again there will be fracture. So many times we give a metal component in the persons who are having maximum masticatory force and their denture fractures off and on. For that we give metallic plate in the upper and even the metal base in the lower denture. In center, we see in the upper median palatine raphe, we give relief to the upper denture, and along with this relief, if we don't give relief, here there will be irritation to the mucosa. But when we give relief, then denture here will become thin, and if frenum is high and there is a frenal notch is big, then denture, upper maxillary denture will fracture easily. Retentive component, impact fracture, fabrication errors, excessive load, heavy mastication. You see that midline fracture, and we have given a metallic mesh in this to strengthen the denture. Dentures also are prone to gradual wear, particularly of the occlusal and incisal surfaces of the teeth. This gradual wear causes deterioration of the materials from which they are fabricated. The management of these is usually carried out as part of relining, rebasing. You see the procedure how we repair it, that we assemble the two parts and with sticky wax we seal two used bars and assemble this, and then we make model and repair. We have seen that mandibular molars facing buccally and maxillary molars facing lingually, and in this way the denture will flex and fracture. There is consequently a tendency to carry out the repair without fully investigating its causes. So we must see the underlying cause of this fracture. There may be some processing defect, there may be porosity, and there is residual ridge resorption, there is flaw, gap between the impression surface and the tissues, the management of which may well require more than the rejoining of the fractured components. Rejoining of the fractured components, we assemble the parts and then we go for repair. Repeated similar repairs to the same prosthesis can become cumulatively expensive of time and money and do little for patient confidence. This without knowing the cause, there will be repeated similar repairs, fracture will occur and we will go on repairing, which is not desired. We must know the cause of this fracture. Issues regarding denture base. Fracture of acrylic denture base is a common problem that can result from impact, fabrication errors, inappropriate design, excessive loading, alveolar resorption, and wear of teeth. Metallic component, if we have diagnosed that this patient is having heavy masticatory load and there are they have fractured the denture so many times, and we go for a new denture. For that new denture we make in the upper denture metallic base, and in the same way the lower we add a metallic component to strengthen the denture. Fractures associated with metallic components are, in the case of denture bases, almost exclusively related to failure of bond between acrylic resin and metal. If we have given metal base and ultimately the borders and the teeth are united with this metal base, so there is no chemical union like acrylic in this metal portion, and due to non-union of this metal portion and acrylic portion, there can be fracture. This can arise from inadequate retention features on the metal base or as a result of fatigue failure. This is often accentuated by alveolar resorption. The same way in the denture, acrylic denture, there will be resorption in the metal base denture. In acrylic denture, we could go for relining and rebasing, but in metal base, we can improve the retentive seal or the border areas, but metal base we cannot put acrylic or relining or rebasing material inside the metal plate. Fracture is associated with the retention components. Failures associated with the retention components used to link complete dentures to dental implants can present either as fracture of the component or failure of its bond with the denture base. If we discuss problems with repairing fractures, they may not fit well after repairs. There can occlusal changes which can occur. A implant denture to a patient, the ridges resorb as usual, but there will be gap between the ridge and the denture surface. But the implant area, there will be imbalance of forces. Impact fracture usually results from dropping the denture either onto the floor or into the sink while cleaning the processes. The latter can be avoided by filling the sink with water. The elderly often have reduced manual dexterity and are thus more likely to drop their dentures. So as I told you that first the fracture may be, and usually there is a hairline fracture of one side of the base. Patient will go on using it until the pieces are separated and patient come to the dentist for repair. A fractured denture, you see, the fracture, the procedure how we assemble the segments. The fracture site is cleaned well of any debris. The pieces are assembled accurately and stabilized with an old burr, as you have seen. Sticky wax or quick setting cyanoacrylate glue, which we call it Elfie or super glue, may also be used to hold the pieces together. Wax should not be placed over the fracture site for better visualization of the accuracy of the assembly. The accuracy of the assembly is carefully verified by visual inspection. After we have assembled the fractured parts, then we pour the cast. Undercuts in the denture are carefully blocked out. Plaster is poured into the denture to make a cast. The denture is separated from the cast and 2 to 3 millimeter of acrylic is removed from the fractured site. A wide bevel created on either side of the fracture line. After applying separating media, the denture is replaced back on the cast. This is how we do a repair in the lab or even in the cleaner. We use auto polymerizing acrylic powder and liquid is applied alternatively in increments till the fracture site is filled to excess. Curing is completed by placing it in a pressure pot containing water at 100 Fahrenheit under pressure of around 30 psi pound per square inch for about 30 minutes. Curing under pressure helps to increase the density and strength of the acrylic. The denture should not be removed from the cast while curing. After curing, the denture is removed, trimmed and polished. So this is a brief procedure how we do repair of a fractured denture. Fabrication errors in this typical fabrication errors include excessive thinning of the palate of the upper denture. As I told you, in the relief area, if we give relief, then denture will become thin, and if we don't give relief, then there will be problem of mucosal irritation. An inadequate cross section in the midline of the lower denture, excessively accentuated frenal notches that act as stress raising features resulting in crack initiation and subsequent propagation. So if there is a big frenum and coming in the midline, then we can do frenectomy or by surgical removal or correction of the frenum. In this way we will get a minimum frenal notch in the denture and can strengthen the denture. Excessive load, as I told you, excessive loads typically arise when a complete denture is opposed by natural teeth. Although some edentulous individuals use very high masticatory force with similar effects, as I told you that they are having extra masticatory force, due to which denture repeatedly fractures, and for that we have given a metal plate, metal denture base in the upper and incorporating metal part in the lower base also. Alveolar resorption in the upper jaw can result in the denture flexing. So you see, if alveolar ridge is resorbing day by day, the denture in the center of the palate is not resorbing, and from the sides ridge is resorbing. When the ridge will resorb, when we give masticatory force or occlusal forces, then denture will flex outward, and due to this extra or imbalanced pressure, denture will fracture. Alveolar resorption in the upper jaw can result in the denture being flexed around the midline during mastication, with the loads being enhanced by the leverage effect. So in this way, this will create a leverage effect, and denture will fracture from the center. Acrylic resin is relatively weak and prone to fatigue and impact fracture. Porcelain teeth tend to chip and prone to impact fracture. When we use acrylic teeth, there is a union between denture base and the acrylic teeth. But in porcelain teeth, while setting and processing, there becomes a void or gap between the acrylic and porcelain tooth. This void cannot tolerate the extra pressure, and in acrylic and porcelain teeth there is no chemical union. There is mechanical union, and there, if remains some gap during processing, the porcelain tooth will fracture, or it will be split from the denture base. And both they and metallic components can lose their bond with the acrylic parts of the prosthesis. As a result, the dentist will be regularly called upon to denture repairs. Sometimes this may be carried. A single tooth can be repaired in the chair side, although typically the work will need to be done in the dental laboratory. There is consequently a tendency to carry out the repair without fully investigating its causes, the management of which may well require more than the rejoining of the fractured components. Repeated similar repairs to the same prosthesis can become cumulatively expensive of time and money, and do little for patient confidence. Management of a fractured denture is relatively straightforward, provided that there is a clean break and the fractured components are available and may be accurately reassembled. This is very important, that the fractured components, when you are preparing them for repair, they should coincide. Fracture line or fractured border should coincide with each other. If it is not coinciding, or if the parts are more than 2 or 3 and you are unable to assemble, then you should go for a new denture. In these circumstances, a laboratory repair can be readily carried out, as I told you the procedure how to repair. Where reasonably is challenging, then it can sometimes be helpful to locate the remaining components using the occlusal contacts with the opposing denture as a guide to their positioning. So the opposing component, if suppose fracture is in the upper denture, we take the guideline from the lower denture by occluding the fractured upper denture and lower denture, seat them in proper occlusion as it was before. In extreme circumstances, there may be no course other than to make, as I told you, if you are unable to assemble the fractured pieces, then we go for new denture. Where indicated, the patient also should be advised on appropriate handling of the dentures to avoid reoccurrences. In geriatric old patients, when they clean the denture, we ask that they should fill the water basin and clean the denture on the filled water basin. If the fracture is associated with the design faults or has resulted from alveolar resorption, design fault, we have fabricated a denture, but we did wax up which was very thin, especially in the center of the upper maxillary denture. So we see proper design of the denture. Here the arrangement of the teeth, if we don't do them on neutral zone area, if they become outward buccally, again there will be leverage and chances of denture fracture. It is usually preferable to either, when you see a case of fracture and this fracture is due to ridge resorption, then after repair, before giving to the patient, you go for relining and rebasing. Same way, if there are occlusal errors after repair, we rectify these occlusal errors and then give it to the patient. Where the cause of the fracture is thought to be excessively high masticatory loads, then consideration should be given to making a new denture. जब आपने देखा कि ये पेशेंट बार बार डेंचर इसका फ्रैक्चर हो रहा है और मैस्टिकेटरी जो फोर्स है वो इसकी ज़्यादा है, ठीक है ना, पैराफंक्शनल हैबिट्स हैं या इसकी, और जिसकी वजह से डेंचर जो है वो फ्रैक्चर हो रहा है, तो उसके लिए आपने मेटल रीइंफोर्स्ड, जिस तरह मैंने बताया कि मेटल की बेस बनानी है और उसकी आपने कास्टिंग करनी है, रिफैक्ट्री मॉडल पे कास्टिंग करके मेटल की बेस बना के फिर उसके ऊपर आपने एक्रिलिक के लिए वैक्स अप करना है और सेटअप करना है और डेंचर फैब्रिकेट करना है. सो कंसिडरेशन शुड बी गिवन टू मेकिंग ए न्यू डेंचर with either a metal reinforced or fiber reinforced acrylic base. Simple single tooth fracture of a denture usually occurs as a result of impact, and as I told you, in upper maxillary lower anteriors are pushing the denture upward and outward, and due to that there becomes less overjet. जब ओवरजेट नहीं रहेगी तो डेंचर का अपर जो एंटीरियर टूथ है आपका लोअर नेचुरल के प्रेशर से ये फ्रैक्चर होगा, रिमूव हो जाएगा फ्रॉम दी बेस and its replacement with new tooth. This procedure is carried out in the dental laboratory. Loss of a tooth from a denture also can occur as a result of impact or the cause of inadequate bonding of the tooth to the denture base. When you have been doing the de-waxing, wax is not eliminated completely from the tooth surface, and due to that there becomes a layer of wax between the tooth and the denture base material, and due to that gap it will fracture very easily and come out from the denture base. This can result from contamination of an acrylic tooth during denture fabrication and is also more common when using porcelain teeth which are retained purely mechanically. A similar difficulty is sometimes encountered when using high cross-linked acrylic. If you are using a high cross-linked acrylic teeth, again replacement is best carried out in the dental laboratory, for which clinical records are not normally required, provided that the opposing denture or a cast of opposing dentition is available. Repairs retentive components in implant dentures. We see either there is fracture, distortion of the retentive component, or there is ridge resorption on the denture base. So repairs are best carried out in the dental laboratory and require clinical records. For this clinical records we take pick-up impression, and with the copings we give to the technician, and in the lab we position and reassemble the retaining components. We are doing this repair. There are principally two methods of doing this. One implies the localized pick-up impression, while the other essentially involves the recording of reline and rebase impression. In the case of pick-up impression technique, a hole needs to be made in the denture over the implant area, the relevant implant with which the retaining component is fully engaged. If the manufacturer recommends the use of a spacer, then locating the attachment, this should be used. The retaining component is then linked to the seated denture using auto-polymerizing acrylic resin or a low viscosity visible light cure resin applied with a disposable brush. Care must be taken to avoid placing an excess of resin which can lock the denture to the implant. The prosthesis may then be sent to the laboratory for repair. Where the retention component has been lost or severely damaged, then it will be necessary to use a pre-manufactured impression coping in its place. Should the fracture be associated with faults in the denture that require it to be relined, rebased, then this procedure may be carried out at the same time. So we see that the retentive component either it is lost or damaged, and we are going to put a new or the same in the denture base. We take pick up impression and do further repair. But if there is denture has been used for a long time and there is severe resorption of the ridge, then we take whole impression of the denture and along with the retention components we reline and rebase the denture same time. It is necessary to record the positions of all implant linked retaining components. This will require the use of an impression coping on each implant, although where these are linked with the retaining bar, then alternatively this may be picked up in the impression. To do so, the prosthetic screws will need to be replaced with guide pins inserted through suitably located hole drilled in the denture base. These may need to be remarkably large if the long axes of the implants are markedly diverged. Apart from specific needs associated with the recording of positions of the implants, the procedure is essentially similar to that when rebasing or relining a denture. So in this way, these retentive components are inserted in the denture base, which are fixed with the implant. Chairside repair. There are very occasionally situations of extreme emergency when it may be necessary to attempt a temporary repair at the chair side. The procedure is same which I told you. This should only be done when the laboratory repair is impossible. There is shortage of time, patient is in a hurry, and we can not send the fractured denture to the lab or receive from there. And when the related components are available and may be accurately located. So we go for chair side repair only if the fractured components are available and they can be assembled very easily. The procedure should be limited to situations where the repair can be carried out by using acrylic resin. Autopolymerization resin self-cure we use and apply in the laboratory with the same procedure as I told you. The process essentially involves locating the components, securing them in position, and then carrying out the repair. Location can usually be accurately done by hand and the components then temporarily secured with cement wax or a low viscosity VLC resin applied by an assistant. They should next be stabilized using a mix of impression plaster. Although where this is not available, a heavy-bodied elastomeric impression material may suffice. So after you have assembled the pieces with sticky wax or cyanoacrylate, then you make the model of this fractured denture. So model easily we can heavy body elastomeric impression. With that we make the model. This will come out from the undercuts and will be easy to manipulate. The fractured surface should then be trimmed and smoothed so as to allow a small amount of autopolymerizing acrylic resin to be run into the interface. You created a space between the fracture line along the both sides 2 to 3 millimeters and beveled the denture from the denture line, and then we apply acrylic resin to be run into the interface. Once it has polymerized, then the repair may be smooth and thus saving laboratory and clinical time. Thank you very much. So this denture fracture becomes an emergency, and so many times the dentist they do in the clinic in chair side this fracture. But when you see that this denture cannot be repaired, or patient has done this report by purchasing a home repairing kit, then you will go for a new denture. Thank you.